Focus. Tell me when to start.
Yep, good.
Okay, it's June 28th, 2024, and I'm with John Jeckovich, World War II veteran, and we're reading his book, Their Mother's Son. We're on chapter 4, and we're on page 81, and this chapter is pertaining to the passes in Owensboro. John Jeckovich is a highly decorated World War II veteran, approximately 99 years old. Today is the oldest you've ever been and the youngest you'll ever be again. So today is the oldest you've ever been and the youngest you'll ever be again, 99.
99,
How about your dog tag number?
420965.
Okay, before we proceed with reading, there's a mail call. Mail call just came in a second ago. Mail call. Mail call.
Yeah, call.
So we're just going to sit back and watch Mr. Jeckovich look at his mail call. And he used to get V-mails during World War II. He had hundreds of them.
Now who's this?
I don't read it. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. You got the mail. I have not looked at it yet. Just read it. Let's see what it says.
Keep up the great work. We love watching your show. Frank Duvall.
Where's it from? Pass it and let me take a look. Let me see who that's from.
Versailles.
Versailles, okay.
Yeah,
What is that, France?
Yeah, that's France.
Yeah, let me take a look. What's on the front of that card?
It looks like a beautiful living room.
Yeah.
Wow, that is
Like a
gorgeous.
castle or something.
That is probably 500 years old. John, keep up the good work. We love watching your show. Frank Duvall. Frank Duvall from Paris, France.
Now, what the hell is this?
From Paris, France. I'm going to put this postcard from Paris, France in your book, Mr. Jefferson.
Yeah, stick it in the book.
It's
Stick
going to
it
go
in
in
the
the book.
book.
You got
Yeah, stick it in the
postcards
book.
from around the world. What is that?
The what?
What is that?
Spanish pieces, Julie.
Oh, okay. What's the rest of that?
Nashville Guide.
Okay, okay. There we go. We're getting into the swing of things, getting you to Nashville.
Music City.
Actually, we're getting you to Franklin,
Nashville Music City.
a farm in Franklin, Tennessee. We have set up for you. I'm gonna blow this popsicle stand.
Whiskey Trail Tours. Moonshine tasting and beer flights.
Wow.
I don't know what the hell is this stuff.
Take your time. We're in no hurry. We're watching you look at your magazine. With any comments, we'll listen.
Nashville. Presented by Dr. Pepper.
You know, believe it or not, Dr. Pepper is one of the oldest beverages in the United States. It's amazing.
Tennessee. Here they give you everything on Tennessee.
Yeah, you were watching the news, and I was sitting right behind you.
Huh?
You were watching the news for an hour, and I was just sitting right behind you. He's going, where the hell is everybody?
Yeah, where is it? Oh,
Well, I was right behind you.
huh?
I was right behind you, and you were going forward.
Huh?
Did you hear me? Huh?
I wasn't sleeping, was I?
No, you were going forward.
Huh?
I'm saying I'm right behind you, and you were wide awake. You weren't sleeping, but you were going forward instead of backward. I
What
was
do you mean
behind
forward?
you. I was behind you, not in front of you.
Nashville, Tennessee, huh? Nashville. Hell, I gotta
Got
cut
that
that.
butter knife for him?
Now, where's that little plastic thing?
Hold on, hold on. Be patient.
Yeah, you can't cool off. You can't cool off.
I'm sitting right behind him.
Huh?
You were funny.
Who?
I'm sitting right behind you, and you're going, where the hell is everybody? I'm right here. What's this now? Postcards?
Franklin, Tennessee.
That's exactly why I got a farm for you.
Huh?
Right there, Franklin, Tennessee. I like Franklin better than Nashville. It's a beautiful suburb about
Franklin?
40 miles south of Nashville, and I call it God's country. The development's coming in. They just put a Walmart, and they just put a Chick-fil-A, and all the big ones are coming in.
Family friendly. Shopping. Food and drink.
They must have picked up on that mailing list,
Yeah.
because we didn't get the real estate books yet.
Company Distilling. Yeah. Lot's House, I've never heard of that.
How'd you like the debate last night?
Huh?
How'd you like the debate?
Oh, that stupid Biden. He's got to be sick or something, huh?
Probably so. He didn't do a good job?
Huh?
He didn't do a good job last night when you watched?
Biden?
Yeah.
No, he didn't do a good job.
His wife says he's very energetic.
Huh?
Biden's wife was on TV today saying how energetic he is.
Yeah, Dr. Biden.
Yeah.
Dr. Biden.
She's got much of as an MD to be a doctor as Dr. Pepper or Bill Cosby.
Bill Crosby, yeah.
He's a doctor too.
But that Biden was terrible last night, boy. He's got to be sick.
Well, he says he's not quitting. He's going full steam ahead, and his
For
wife
president?
and
They'd be crazy. They'd be crazy about that guy president.
Dr. Joe Biden says he's got more energy than a 40-year-old.
She's an enabler.
Yeah.
Enabler.
Enabler, right. And actually, that's senior abuse for what she's doing. She's pushing that old guy around. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing, let's
No.
face it. And she says, he's got more energy than a 40-year-old. He does more work in the morning than most people do.
Well, it doesn't show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit.
Would you watch another debate?
Huh?
Would you spend time and watch another debate if it ever came around?
Biden?
Yeah, would you watch another debate?
Oh, yeah, Biden. I wouldn't have Biden. Who have Obama and Trump.
But
Obama's the live wire.
Yeah, but Obama can't run.
Why?
They're trying to repeal that amendment.
Not gonna happen. He sent already 2 terms.
Huh?
A president can only go a total of 8
Oh, he had
years,
2 terms.
and he already did that.
Obama had 2 terms?
Yeah.
President? Yeah. You're right.
So they're trying to say they might get Hillary Clinton in there.
Yeah.
Might have Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton?
Yeah. She just wants to step in.
She wants to step in?
Yeah. And take Biden's place.
Jesus Christ. Biden better go back to the farm.
Boy, you're really chipper today.
Huh?
You're chipper today. Okay, should I start reading your book? Or do you
Yeah,
want to
go
have any
ahead.
more comments?
Huh?
You want me to start reading your book, or do you have any more comments?
No, I have no more comments.
Okay.
No.
When I'm reading, if you have anything to say, interrupt me and just say it. Okay, this is chapter 4, page 81, John Jeckovich's book, Their Mother's Sons. I always thought their mother's son, but it's sons.
Sons?
It's your other two
Plural.
brothers, Steve and Lookie.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was just their mother's son because you're the only one that ever did anything.
You talking about just me.
Yeah, I thought it was just you.
Their mother's sons.
Okay, here we go. I was elated. Fortune was smiling down on me once again. I made a route out of the PX to avoid Smith and getting louder, and I did not want to be in the middle of that scene. I did not seek his friendship, nor did I want it.
Smith. You talking about Smith? Yeah.
Apparently Smith is drinking.
Yeah, that Smith, he's bitter.
Whatever happened to Smith?
I don't know. I guess they gave him a Section 8.
He was nuts.
Yeah. He had the kid. He got married and had 2 kids, and he's worried about that.
Yeah. I did not have anything in common with him, and I certainly did not condone his behavior, drunk or sober. I leaned more towards Larson and Lane. What happened to Larson and Lane?
Lane got discharged. He was sick, and Larson was a juror from
New York City area.
Yeah. He was still in there. Yeah.
But then again, there was.
Well, they gave Larson sergeant, and they gave me corporal.
I wonder why.
They said Larson was more outgoing than you.
Yeah. Well.
Larson was a jibber jabber anyway.
Yeah. For one, they were much older than I, and secondly, they were set in their ways and would not try anything but their own cautious, prudent actions. I liked them because I'd rather be with Ann and all that entailed. It was close to lights out. I washed up and got ready for bed. I thought I had only to sweat Friday, the Saturday morning inspection and parade exclusion for my weekend duty, plus getting another weekend pass. That was not too bad. I felt confident that I would overcome these minor obstacles. I was in an exuberant mood, and nothing would dissuade me otherwise. The very thought of it, seeing Ann, once again, made everything and everyone appear insignificant and trivial. Friday, luckily, was an uneventful day with the PT, physical training, and close order drill in the morning, and few lectures and classes in the afternoon. I went to the orderly room to put in for my weekend pass, and T5 Eckert was there to sign me up. He remarked somewhat sarcastically that I had a pass last weekend and asked if I had something
Yeah.
if I had something of interest going on in town. That was T5 Eckerd. I gave him a little sheepish smile, and I said I might have. I didn't want to alienate myself from him, as he also had a hand in preparing the duty roster for the weekend. The Saturday morning inspection went without a hitch, and so did the parade, and all that was left to see was my name appear on the weekend pass list, which was usually posted while we're at the parade. Sure enough, T5 Eckerd came through for me. I was on the pass list and could pick up my pass at noon. Larson came over to visit for a while and hinted around that he wanted me to go with him to the pass to Evansville. I reiterated that I had previous plans for the weekend and that perhaps we could go together at a later date. He agreed rather grudgingly. I could see that he was disappointed at my response and left after a few minutes. Ever since that little episode, Larson never asked me again that friendly, and his reaction did not disturb me in the least. I did not want to get close to either one of them, as this presented a perfect avenue to rid myself of their presence. As the bus drove towards Owensboro, I wondered how Ann would look and act. With that magnetic attraction that we both felt so strongly for one another, she still was there in our first meeting. I did not see her anywhere in sight as the bus drove up to the station. It was only when I got off the bus I saw her walking towards me. She looked stunning, and I wanted to embrace and kiss her. Instead, I took her outreached hands and grasped both of them. I smiled and I said how glad I was to see her, and I had missed her, and I could not wait to see her again. She smiled that enticing smile, took my arm, and walked to the car. We sat there momentarily, just looking at one another, and I finally asked her if she had any plans for the day. She thought it would be nice if we would go somewhere and have dinner, and I was in agreement with whatever she suggested. We went to the restaurant called Trotter's, a short distance from downtown Highway 431, which specialized in prime rib and seafood. The place was elegant, decorating resembling a racetrack trotting team, somewhere after the fashion of the Kentucky Derby.
11 minutes.
The food was delicious and the atmosphere was first rate, but it could not compare to the company I had with Ann. Was beautiful with her shoulder-length blonde hair, exquisite deep penetrating blue eyes, and her facial features. It was great being with her, and I wanted to tell her so. During dinner, she told me about her schoolwork, and it was difficult keeping a full-time job while attending school full-time at night. And despite the tremendous workload, she managed to maintain a 3.7 average in school. I thought that was great and admired her scholastic achievement as well as her tenacity to accomplish what she set out to do. A small band was playing in the background, and I asked her if she cared to dance, warning her that I was not a great dancer. As I held her close to me as we danced, I was intoxicated with the perfume she was wearing and remarked that it was perfect companion to her attractiveness and charm. She moved gracefully as we danced, and I felt even more attracted to her. We stayed at Trotter's for several hours, just talking, dancing, and enjoying one another's company. As we drove out of the parking lot, the sight of my gym bag brought me back to realization that I had no place to sleep that night. I remarked to Ann that we should stop at the St. Paul's Episcopal Church on Griffin Avenue to reserve a cot in case they get crowded. She suggested instead that we go to a bed and breakfast she had taken some of her relatives to, where to visit her mother. I agreed, providing it was not too expensive, since I did not need anything to elaborate for just an overnight stay. We arrived at Weatherbury's bed and breakfast, which was just a mile up the road on US 60 bypass. Ann went in with me, and the proprietor recalled her from the last time she was here with some of her relatives. As it turned out, the room was a private bath with adjoining bath, and most of all, clean, homely, and inexpensive. Weatherbury was stately Kentucky farmhouse dating back to the 1740s and was magnificently furnished with 18th century furniture. I was glad Ann had suggested it and rounded out an already beautiful day. Driving back to town, I sat close to Ann and put my arm around her as she drove. I especially took great delight in watching her shift gears. Where was the shift? On the steering wheel?
Yeah.
As each time, displaying her beautiful pair of legs. I smiled at her, gently pulled her closer, kissed me on the cheek, and I could not see her total reaction, as it was too dark in the car, but I sensed that it was favorable. I felt a little awkward sitting while she drove, and I remarked to her my feelings. She immediately asked if I wanted to drive. I declined, stating she was familiar with the area, and besides, I did not care to drive anyone's car. We both were more at ease with one another as soon as we started joking and laughing about the events when I first met her. I mentioned it was fate that we had met when I got lost and came down the street where she lived. She agreed and felt there was a great deal in common with one another. She sensed it that minute, and I asked her directions to the bus station and how I reacted when Mar started to giggle. I chuckled at her insight and bent over as she drove and kissed her once again on the cheek. Ann asked if I liked roller skates. I stated that I skated several times but was not that good at it. She smiled and said she was not either. We decided that we would go roller skating. The place was called Kentucky Bluegrass Roller Rink, located on East Parish Avenue, a short distance from the distillery that I visited. The rink was crowded and the music was loud, but I enjoyed lacing Ann's skates since I could see her shapely ankles. She was an excellent skater, and her body movements were graceful and elegant. I enjoyed skating with her, holding her around the waist and grasping her by her hands. The music was too loud to do much talking, so we just skated, basking in sheer delight, holding on to one another. It was only when we retired to the lobby for some refreshments that could we really talk. I could enjoy listening to her as she sat there with her legs crossed. We must have skated for several hours as my ears were ringing from the loud music. And we finally left. I helped Ann with the skates once again. She looked enticing with her face flushed from the prolonged skating, and her hair gleaming from the warmth she had generated. Okay, that's the end of chapter 4.
What's he do after the war?
I don't know about after the war, after skating we're talking about.
Oh,
That was the end of chapter 4. And now we're going to read chapter 5, Getting to Know You. Getting to Know You, chapter 5. Minutes.
4.
As we prepared to leave the parking lot, I reached over and took her in my arms and kissed her. We embraced and kissed several minutes, and I released as I quickly apologized for my zeal. We embraced once again and held each other closely. It was after 2,400 hours when we stopped at an all-night eatery off the US 60. It was crowded and noisy, so we hurriedly consumed our sandwiches and drinks and returned to the car. Ann stated it was getting late and thought we should start back to WWII. I agreed. Several minutes we arrived at WWII, and Ann parked the car at the east side of the building. I grasped her hand into mine and told her that I had a terrific time and wished I could do it every day. She agreed and stated that she would also enjoy herself immensely and would like going out again. I reached over to put my arm around her and she rested her head on my shoulder. We sat there and talked about almost many things, my Army life, my plans after the Army, and if I had a steady girlfriend at home. I told her there was no one at home and that was special, and as far as I was concerned, that she was the only one special to me. She kissed me on the cheek and said that we did not know each other that long, but she felt she knew me far better than the short time we spent together. I agreed and said that exactly how I felt the first time we met, and there was something greatly mystical about our relationship. We talked a little bit about my family life at home and the death of my father. She explained with a sigh that her father was killed in an automobile accident several years ago, and we both smiled at the coincidence. I kissed her and held her in my arms, thinking how unfortunate we both are that we had each other. After a while, Ann said it was getting late and that we should be getting home. I asked her what her plans were for the next day. She hesitated for a moment and then that she would be here a little afternoon as she was going to church with her mother earlier. I nodded in agreement and stated that I would be only a minute or so and I wanted to go to my room at the inn to get my phone number to give it to her. She seemed perplexed and puzzled and asked, "Why would you need my phone number?" I returned that she would need the number to call me when she reached home. She smiled and kissed me and said, ever so gently, "Thank you." Minutes.
1 minute, 26 seconds.
We'll take a break after this. I then asked her if she would come up to my room at the inn. She smilingly replied, "Hurry and get the phone number, it's getting late." I quickly returned, gave her the phone number, and kissed her goodnight, and reminded her to call me the moment she got home. She nodded and waved goodbye and drove off. I remained at the front of the inn until she made the turn and was out of sight. I stood there a moment thinking about all that had happened that day, and I smiled and retreated into the inn.
44.
I entered my room and for the first time looked it over. It was clean and well furnished with a huge 4-poster bed and with an exquisite quilt comforter on it. There was also a large cherry 4-drawer bureau near one of the 2 windows on the nightstand with the phone on its near the bed. The floor had a circular oriental rug in the center of the room, which the bed partially covered. There were farm implements on the walls, which made and interesting decor. We'll take a break for a minute. You gotta change